Hi, everybody. This is Todd Inman, and he is the spokesperson for the National Transportation Safety Board, and he gives a really great, I think, unintended uh, example of the kind of pressures that they're under when dealing with an investigation of an accident of this magnitude. And here is Mr. Inman going through some explaining to the press. And right here, trying to get this to activate. Hold on a second, folks. And stick itself. And
what's up for this?
Here it is.
So yeah, it is hard on them. They have a lot of questions. They haven't been through this. Unfortunately, we have a lot of experts. We've done 1,000. That doesn't mean it's not completely new to them. What's really horrible, though, is that these things are happening. You know, I keep a challenge coin. Whenever I first got to the NTSB, they asked, it's a challenge coin you hand to people. Is it a sign of gratitude and respect? The front of it has the seal and name. I said, what do you want to put on the back? This was on the front door of our training center where the TWA 800 was for many years. From tragedy, we draw knowledge to improve the safety for us all. That's what we're doing right now. We're dealing with tragedy, but we need to improve safety. We need 200 plus recommendations fixed. We need people to take action. Unfortunately, at some point, all of you are going to be gone. We're still going to have the investigation open. We're going to make recommendations. We go to East Palestine, a community that gets devastated. Still nothing's happening. With several hundred recommendations open for aviation. You want to do something about it? Adopt the recommendation of the NTSB. You'll save lives. Get off and do something. I don't want to have to meet with those parents like that again. Not fair. Could be your family.
He's right.
Sorry, I didn't mean to take it out on you.
But he's right.
Sorry.
It's all right, man.
Yeah.
I have two, and I just want to follow up because I want to make sure I understand the elevation question correctly. The flight data recorder on the CRJ is showing 325 plus or minus 25. That's correct, right?
The question is, and I apologize, I've said this 3 or 4 times, on the CRJ.
Listen, media.
The flight data recorder
listening to him.
that has been localized from the ADSB data and other is showing the time of impact. It was at 325 plus or minus 25 feet.
The 200 feet inside of the air traffic control cab was for the helicopter. Is that
The question again, the preliminary data that we have not validated yet and are still trying to verify was that the radar scope was showing the helicopter at 200 feet. Now again, we're not saying plus or minus because we don't really know that. It's not as granular. We will have the exact data set tomorrow evening. We knew you would have some questions, so please be responsible in reporting this. We need more info, but we know that some of that information is coming out and we're trying to provide it. No more. Sorry, I've answered the same question several times. Sorry. Go ahead.
This is just a clarification point on this topic.
He's got to hold his cool.
Radar scope in the ATC cab was showing and what the black box showed you from the CRJ. I guess the question is, what would explain the discrepancy, which appears to be 100 feet, when clearly they hit each other?
So the question is, what would explain this discrepancy? That's what our job is to figure that out. That's what we're doing. That's the reason we're giving you information to dispel some information that may be out there. We're the gold standard across the world because we tell the facts. And sometimes we have to give a little bit something preliminary so that you don't have an improper picture. That's what we're trying to do. Thank you.
Thank you very much. 45 seconds.
He lost his cool.
All right, you were listening there
He's
to
just
Todd
plain
Inman,
lost it.
NTSB
That
board
was,
member, giving an update on the deadly
he just-
crash that happened here in Washington, D.C. on Wednesday night. I want to go out to Brian Todd, who was at
folks,
DCA. And Brian,
I gotta freeze that, folks, and I gotta make a little statement myself here. I completely, 1,000% understand why he's upset, but his job is to not be that guy in these situations. He has to be the pillar of strength for the families out there, for the other people who are working in the NTSB, for people watching around the country who need to hear an authoritative voice who has the patience to answer questions again and again and again, who doesn't get upset, who doesn't fall off the wagon. That's, like it or not, what he's got to do, and he didn't do it. And it's unfortunate. So I don't know who their backup is. I seriously doubt they, axe him or can him or anything like that. Of course, they're not going to do that. But he needs a break. He needs a break, and he needs to remember that it's not about him. He can't fix the problems, but he has people out there who don't know what he knows. It's a highly technical operation. There's facts that obviously he can't tell right now. He should say, I'm not in a position to give that information, and we're not authorized to give that information. If they're not, they're not. But he has to remember that what he represents is a highly technical group of people who have a jargon that's not known to the public. And you've got people out there in the media who have made it their job, whether they're independent or not, to tell the story, and they're going to try to interpret it through their own language. He has to make sure that they understand his language, and to do that, he's got to repeat the same answer to the same question again and again and again, whether he likes it or not. He can't say, I've answered this question 4 times and I'm tired, right? He should be prepared to answer the question 40 times. That's the job. If you can't do the job, call me. They need that kind of representation. They need people up there who understand the emotions, that they need to be strong for. This is like a funeral. You have to be strong for the people you represent. That's what you have to do. And that's, like it or not, that's really what his job description is in this instance, even if he doesn't realize it himself. Very sad. I feel for him deeply, deeply, because he's doing a disservice to the NTSB when he does that. And he's basically, but also what you, in his defense of him, what you're seeing is an organization that's suffering under less than par working conditions. They need the money. They need the help. They need Congress to step up and give them the appropriate amount of money to do what they need to do best. And they're not getting it. And and that's weighing on him. And by extension, I would think it's weighing on the rest of the organization. So there you go. Subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube and bookmark ZennyReport.com. Thanks.